Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, and today we had a really nice trade, guys. Actually, it's always exciting to get these banger trades after having a rough week so far. So, really happy today. You can this is the 3-minute chart that I'm showing you right now. So if you see those entries before, I was looking for shorts on that swing low, which ended up playing out, but it was a break-even trade. So and then that was right like maybe 6-9 minutes before news. So then I just held off, was gonna wait till news, and I'm glad I did, because we've had some crazy wicking candles today, just at random times too. Like one of them I think was at like 9:37, just wicked up like 60 points. So yeah, it was a good idea to wait. Usually a good idea to wait till a couple minutes after news. But yeah, so news hit. We had news hit at 10, and we had a kind of an interesting candle. It just ended up closing kind of in the middle of itself, leaving two huge ass wicks. So from there, it was just a matter of, can we get a good setup after hitting one to the other, and that's exactly what we got today. We had data lows that took out some sell side swings, and it was resting in a 15-minute right next to first presented fair value gap, which was already inverse to the upside. And on the 1-minute, there wasn't really any clean fair value gaps that we were inversing. There was two like smaller ones. So I went to the 2-minute, and it was kind of the same issue, just not anything clean. But 3-minute, there was a big one, and we got like a monster candle through that. So it was really obvious, especially even though that's just the entry. We just swept data lows inside of a 15-minute, tapped into the first presented fair value gap, which was already inverse to support longs, and we had a resweep on the lower time frame after sweeping data lows, and then we had huge momentum and displacement upwards. The draw on liquidity was so clear, and it was almost instant. We swept it, maybe like a minute or so went by, and then we just started banging all the way up. Clean trade, like a zero drawdown trade almost. Super nice and super relaxing to be in this position, in a position like this. So yeah, W day. I don't really have much else to say. The trade was great. We had an SMT at the highs, which kind of forced us down. I think it was on the 4-hour. ES took out some of the highs up there, but and I think the data high was also like a relative equal high with another distant high on the left. So yeah, it was a huge draw and really obvious. Good entry, good break even point. I scaled 3 of my 4 micros at that swing high, and then went break even, and left one runner up to data highs, which was, just picture perfect. I think it's best to scale there, honestly, if you want to be disciplined. But if anyone did have their whole position all the way to data highs, that's a banger trade. But just in case we get some sort of like a crazy retracement or ridiculous candle for no reason, there was something to protect us, and we were in profit. So it's always best to take a partial there, in my opinion, but to each their own. And yeah, another thing I want to say is, like, I realized that Dodgy said something in his Discord, and it was that he doesn't trade fair value gaps explicitly. He trades the draws on liquidity, and fair value gaps, when they're inverse, that's his entry alone. And I thought about that pretty much all day yesterday, and I was like, damn, that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because coming into this, my whole idea wrapped around this strategy was that inverses prove that the trade is going to work in a way, and that's just not true. Like, you can get so many inverses, and you can enter, and half of those are going to be break even and half of those are going to be losses if you just enter randomly with no draw on liquidity. And yeah, draw on liquidity is hard to sometimes it's hard to pinpoint. It really is. And I guess it's just being able to be patient enough until you know explicitly where price wants to reach to, and then you just have to be disciplined and wait for your entry to show itself. If it doesn't show itself, no entry. And it's really that simple. Yes, you're not going to win every trade. There's going to be losses regardless. I think everybody knows that, but yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys what Dodgy said, and it's true. I think it's really true. The inverse is nothing but the final confluence. You shouldn't be so tunnel vision on the inverse and then look for the draws. You need to have the draws in mind and be reading the chart holistically, and then if there is an inverse, that's your moment to enter. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, mainly for myself, but I think it's a good bit of information for anybody that might be listening. And yeah, other than that, banger trade today. It was about 90 points overall, and trade safe, guys.